Most men make one big mistake when they touch a woman. They do it like they are asking for approval. You can feel it in the way they reach, the hesitation, the apology in their fingertips. And the moment she feels that uncertainty, something inside her shuts down. Not because she is cold, not because she is not interested, but because she senses doubt behind the gesture. Here is the truth. A mature woman does not fall for your words, your status, or your appearance. She falls for how she feels in her own body when she is around you, and that feeling often begins with touch. Not random touch, not forced touch, the right kind of touch. This is not about being aggressive or pushing boundaries. It is about understanding emotional intelligence, attachment psychology, and how the nervous system responds to presence. A woman who is self-aware has already experienced men who touched her with an agenda, men who were trying to prove something, men who were nervous, seeking validation, or trying to escalate too fast. She is no longer impressed by that. What she responds to is a man who is grounded, a man who is calm within himself, a man whose touch feels steady, intentional, and unforced. When your touch feels like an offering instead of a request, everything changes. Most advice tells you when to touch or where to touch. Almost nobody talks about the energy behind it, and that is what makes the difference between forgettable and unforgettable. You meet her. There is chemistry, conversation flows, she is engaged. Then you either freeze and barely touch her at all, or you overdo it and create discomfort. A quick tap that means nothing, or too much too soon with no emotional buildup. In both cases, she feels disconnected. Not because she is uninterested, but because the touch did not match the emotional moment. Touch is not an action to check off. It is communication. If your touch says, I am nervous or I want something from you, she will feel that instantly. And when she feels it, she pulls back. Maybe not visibly, but energetically. There are 3 psychological triggers that make touch powerful with a mature woman. The first is certainty without agenda. She does not want loud dominance. She wants grounded decisiveness. When you touch her, it should not feel like a question. It should feel calm, natural, and present. That does not mean ignoring boundaries. It means you are not performing. You are not seeking approval. You are simply there. Certainty creates safety, and safety allows desire to grow. The second trigger is escalation through stillness. Most men think escalation means moving faster or touching more areas, but depth matters more than speed. When you touch and instantly pull away, her nervous system barely registers it. When you stay present in the moment, when your touch lingers naturally without tension, her body has time to respond. Stillness communicates confidence. It says you are not rushing, not trying to get somewhere. You are comfortable in the moment. That comfort is magnetic. The third trigger is emotional presence. A boy touches because he wants something. A man touches because he feels something. There is a huge difference. If your mind is racing ahead, thinking about the next move, she senses the transaction. But when your touch comes from genuine feeling, from being fully there with her, she relaxes. She feels seen as a person, not approached as a goal. A mature woman is highly sensitive to intention. She can feel when you are trying to take versus when you are simply sharing connection. When your touch carries emotion instead of expectation, her defenses lower naturally. You are not trying to break through her walls. You are giving her a reason to open them. This is where most men lose the opportunity. They focus on technique instead of presence. But presence is what she remembers. Presence is what changes the energy in the room. When you learn to touch with certainty, depth, and emotional honesty, you stop chasing reactions. You create connection. And that is the difference between being another guy she once met and the man she cannot stop thinking about. When you touch a woman the right way, you are not trying to break through her walls. You are giving her permission to lower them on her own. That is the real power behind this. And now let's talk about the 7 types of touch that bring all of this together in a way she will not forget. The first is the grounded palm on her lower back. When you are walking beside her, guiding her through a doorway, crossing a street, place your full palm on the small of her back. Not your fingertips, not a quick tap, your whole hand steady and calm. Let it stay there for a few seconds so she can actually feel it. The weight, the certainty. This kind of touch communicates awareness and protection without control. It feels attentive, not clingy, because that area is slightly intimate but not sexual. It creates closeness in a natural way. She feels guided, not handled, and that difference matters. The second is holding her hand with intention. When you take her hand, do not just grab it and move on. Hold it fully. Then gently move your thumb in slow, subtle circles across her skin. This forces you to be present. You cannot fake this kind of touch while distracted. It says you want the connection, not just the image of it. It works best in quiet moments when there is no rush. It often makes her look at you differently, softer, more aware. The third is a gentle touch to her forehead or temple when she is opening up about something personal. Just a light, calm contact for a few seconds. It sends a message of comfort and steadiness. For a woman who is used to carrying responsibility, this kind of touch can feel surprisingly safe. It says she does not have to be strong all the time, that you see her. The fourth is the anchored hand on her shoulder. When she is speaking, when you are saying goodbye, or when the moment feels meaningful, place your hand there and let it rest. Do not fidget, do not rush, hold eye contact. Stillness here creates depth. It shows you are actually with her, not waiting for your turn to talk. That grounded presence often means more than compliments ever could. The fifth is the two-hand face hold. This one requires confidence and vulnerability. When the energy between you feels real and unspoken, gently cup her face with both hands. Slow, intentional. Look into her eyes and pause. Do not rush to speak. Just be there. This kind of touch feels emotionally bold because there is no pretending it is accidental. It says the moment matters. It says she matters. Many men avoid this because it feels intense, but that intensity is often what she has been waiting for. The sixth is the waist pull. When you are standing close and the connection is obvious, place your hand at her waist and slowly draw her a little closer. Not abruptly, not forcefully, just enough to close the distance. It is direct and confident without being aggressive. If she leans in, you feel the shift instantly. If she pulls back, you respect it. Either way, clarity replaces guessing. The seventh is how you say goodbye. When you hug her, do not rush away. Let the embrace last a couple seconds longer than usual. Keep your hand steady at her back. As you step away, let your hand slowly slide down her arm before releasing. That small delay creates a subtle emotional echo, a moment where her body registers the absence of your presence. That lingering feeling often stays with her long after you leave. All of these touches only work if they are real. If you use them like techniques from a script, she will sense the emptiness. If you use them to try to force an outcome, she will feel the agenda. But when your touch reflects how you genuinely feel in that moment, it becomes powerful. It becomes honest. Start with what feels natural to you. Maybe it is the handhold, maybe the grounded palm on her back. Focus on presence, not performance. Pay attention to how she responds, not just verbally, but in her breathing, her posture, her energy. Attraction is rarely built through words alone. It is built in the quiet moments, in the way you stand, in the way you hold, in the way you stay. If this opened your eyes, go deeper. I created a free guide called the Grounded Man Blueprint that explains masculine presence, body language, and the inner stability that changes how women respond to you emotionally, not just physically. You can find it in the description through Lauren Ponce Motivation. Remember this: a mature woman does not fall in love with performance. She falls in love with how she feels when she is with you. And touch, when it is certain, calm, and emotionally honest, is one of the clearest ways she feels that truth. Be steady. Be present, mean what you do, and let your actions speak before your words ever have to.